Hi, and welcome to Gin with Gwynne. I'm Oliver Gwynne. This is where I give you my off-the-cuff and unrehearsed thoughts on marketing, data, and philosophy. This week, I've got a special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell me what you do?
Hi. Hello, it's always so funny to start with this. And my name is Shengnan. Yeah, and I'm a digital marketer who is more specialized in Chinese social media. For example, the WeChat, Baidu, and Douyin. Maybe you'll hear it as another version, TikTok. Yeah.
Interesting.
Also, the Little Red Book, which is nowadays very popular in China. Yeah.
It seems to be very popular here. I feel like people live their entire weekends based on what Xiao Hangshu says.
Yeah.
What would you say is the trend at the moment in Chinese social media?
I think current trend is more like so how to start with, yeah, there's several, like, my personal experience is currently the Chinese social media trend is more focused on the um it depends on the different platform. For literary book, they are more like user content generated. So my personal experience is, once you share those very like ridiculous and drama posts, you can get more like clicks, interactions, likes, and people will like leave very much funny like jokes and comments below your post, and then you can um there's a Chinese word. I don't know if it's suitable to say. It means 起号, which means to like set up your initial account, and they will use such kind of very um how to say those those very like, let me see. Oh, I have to switch to the silence mode. So word some very um dramatic,
Hmm.
very debated topics.
Okay.
Very, yeah, such thing to like to like to attract users when they are browsing, and once they see your post, they will engage your topics, and they will share their findings, their comments, and you will soon become very popular, become an influencer just by that post. So it's kind of like how to set up your initial account to be the influencer.
There's a lot of brands who will hear that and they'll be a bit scared of causing controversy or saying something that might be taken out of hand. That
Yeah,
used to be a big worry, and I feel like it's got less and less. Like Wendy's account is obviously the most famous one in the West for sort of trolling people and saying rude replies back. How, what do you do for a client? Are they worried about that kind of thing? And what advice do you give?
yeah, so actually we try to avoid such controversial things when doing like brand level social media. So it is all still all about setting up your own brand. So the skills or the tricks I mentioned previously is more suitable for personal users. And if you want to be an influencer, yeah, you can try this way. But if you are brand level, you're a big company, I think such controversial topics you should definitely avoid. Yeah.
You think it's just safer in general?
Yeah, should be safe in general. Yeah.
What's your opinion on when brands sponsor somebody who is then does something controversial or something that people don't like, and there's a backlash against them? How do brands protect themselves from that other than picking people who are squeaky clean and are never going to do anything controversial, which is seemingly none of us, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's some ways. For example, if a brand do like initiate some very controversial topics, they can from my experience, most uh, the most immediate actions they will take is to delete the post, delete the comments. It's very common in Chinese social media, but there are some more mild ways is to make a clarification on the like topics you cause. It's kind of like public relation. You need to like tell your customers that your true meaning behind set topics. Sometimes people will like just share their own opinion and disregard of what the truth behind that. Yeah.
Interesting. And do the companies that you work with, do they still see social media as being very top of funnel, or do they think it directly relates to sales, and how do you, as a sort of middle person working for an agency, how do you deal with proving the value of what you're providing?
I think it's quite still very upfront, and they rely heavily on social media because in China, unlike maybe Western, they will more rely on the PPC paid search. Paid social is very popular, and people use social media apps very often. So the best way is to like set up your social media account on those like very popular platforms like WeChat, like TikTok, like Little Rebook I mentioned. And recently, is that okay to say my clients just set up their like Little Rebook account and has gained many impressions, and they have quite decent conversion from those platforms.
Nice. As an old man who remembers Bebo and MySpace and MSN, I feel like social media is so fast moving. The trends are going so quickly. It's a lot more advertising focused than it used to be as well. How do you keep on top of things, and how do you advise a client like, oh, this is a good trend that we want to be on top of versus this is just a flash in the pan, you can ignore this? Because obviously it takes time to approve messages and make content and all that kind of stuff. So how do you know what's worth doing and what's not?
Yeah, actually, we do have such kind of social campaign. Like, do you know Cat Meme? That was very popular, I think, back in 2024, and we leveraged that trend to create a video for our clients to like let some cats pretend they're human and they want to look for something, and they say my clients are selling, and yeah, these posts are very like it's a very trendy topic. So we reached almost more than 10,000 views and over 10,000 clicks as well. So yeah, it's very decent. So definitely have to try on those very trendy and relevant to your field topics. Yeah.
There are some companies though that are in, I don't want to say boring, but it's a bit of a struggle for them to succeed on social media. They're doing office supplies, or they're doing something a bit more functional, shall we say. I think in recent times, like there's been some people who've broken through, like Chip Shop Girl, where she's just literally serving chips. But how do you deal with those accounts where it's not as interesting? It's hard for them to have a creative angle on that.
Yeah, I think it's to find a balance between the creative side and the demand, make a balance of that. 'Cause some companies, some maybe young companies are very open to those very like how can I say, very aggressive ideas, but some will tend to like very conservative. But it's fine, just find the balance about that. Yeah, actually, all the clients I am serving is also very can be say is um um it's very conservative, but they still try this because we will remove those very controversial, aggressive side and just preserve those suitable for the clients. For example, just back to our cat meme again, please. Yeah, because the cat meme in social media, in Chinese social media, is more used by young people, and they use cat meme to represent their like personal experience, their young life, their childhood, their relationship with families. But some companies also leverage this chance to like talk with the young people to show their brand is also very like open, very young. They're actually not old, and they stand with you. So I think in this way, many companies can, maybe old companies, I won't say that, can have a try on. Yeah, it's still like open for them to try.
And in terms of what you get out of your role, like what's the most challenging part of your day to day?
Oh, my day to day, yeah. I think my day to day work is the most challenging thing about it should be the time difference, because I am based in UK and most of my clients are based in China. So we have like 8 or 7 time difference. So we have to deal with their requests in the early morning. So it's very struggling. Also, we have some freelancers we have also to like send their messages in early morning. So this is the most challenging part I encounter, but it can be managed. It just like sometimes if there's very urgent task, I will choose it in advance so to avoid those like back and forth and the delay. And if this happen on the day, then I will leave them a quick message and to see if they can help me out of their working hours. It's very, I think it's very brutal, but yeah, thanks.
How do you deal with the one time zone problem? Because, you know, social media is all about being present in certain moments, and you have a problem where 9 a.m. for one part of the country looks very different from 9 a.m. in another part of the country. You can't, you know, at 9 a.m. in another part of the country, it's nighttime still, basically. Do you have to do a lot of targeting to specific locations, or do you figure out what the time zone would be, or how does that work?
Yeah, we do have such thing. Yeah, for example, one like doing campaign for like setting specific timelines, we will create a like sheet to record our exact actions and the steps to make it clear, the timeline, and for us to like obey. And also for some very like when there's a trendy topics, we must leverage it, right? So we will in our take our most take our most quick action to respond to that and think of the like the if there's videos, the concept plan, if that's the article, think about the outlines and deliver to our freelancers, and we discuss them together to develop the creatives as soon as we can.
I guess AI has made developing creatives a lot easier than it used to be.
Yeah, I do love AI. I love Gemini. It's very useful, and also ChatGPT as well, right? Yeah, I use them to help improve my work as well. Actually, because I'm non-native speaker, so sometimes it can be very challenging for me to write English emails. But I will use Gemini to help me to ensure my experience is correct and there's no misunderstanding, and then I can send to my client. And also, they're also very capable for. Actually, to be honest, they are very capable to do the Chinese-based shooting concepts as well. Yeah. Well, yeah. Some people may think say their language is English, but Gemini can also help you produce Chinese like scripts, articles, and they're very useful. And if you can hire someone to like proofreading of that, and it is very ready for you to send them to your audience. Yeah, it's very quick.
I feel like in my time knowing about advertising, and maybe this is a bit of a weak link because I know you're more on the social media side, but I have felt like social media has become a pay to play in a lot of respects, and the cost is just going up and up and up because it's easier than ever to start a brand or an app or whatever you want to do. And so these platforms are getting more and more powerful. They can charge more money.
Yeah.
Is money the biggest factor to success, or does creativity still win in the end?
I think it's a very sad topic because yeah, it's truly the money can like win. It's last, but your creatives is also very important to attract users. Yeah, so I would say the, the core is your creatives, and the the things around should be the money. The money will can take your creatives to more audience, and once your creatives reach your audience, then they can be converted to the revenue. Yes, so it is worth thinking of how to wisely spend those money.
A lot of people with social media, they have a habit of starting, and then it gets, you know, 7 months in, and then they run out of ideas. Maybe AI is going to close that gap now, and everybody will just start asking AI, what should my next post be?
Yeah.
But that's obviously not what you want to do, is to spam a load of stuff and then run out of ideas. And how do you make sure that your campaigns are more sustainable, that they're going to last for a long time, that the messaging is going to be consistent? How do you go about making sure it's going to be sort of a long-term thing rather than just something somebody gives up on?
I think the most important thing to make campaigns sustainable is to talk to your audience and know their like aspects and know the ideas about your product. You should link your product to your customers, to your like users, and tell them the story of your products. That's the most important thing. Once you have such like story ready, your brand level strategy ready, then you can make your campaign sustainable. Like recently, I think this very. Do you know Muji? Muzi, Muji, the
Yes.
Japanese lifestyle brand. They have a campaign in Shanghai, and they have like, but it's outdoor campaign, and they have because they will move out of the store, and they put up a poster saying goodbye, and we will see you in like in the field, by the river, by the lake, in your daily life, and it's their next site of the store. I think this idea is very attractive, and many users say take photo of the poster and put them onto the social media again. So they have the multiple like traffics, more traffics was led to that poster, and the Muji was very successful last month, I think in Shanghai especially.
Sounds really interesting. I think there's so much more that goes into it that I think a lot of people just don't sort of appreciate in terms of what makes success. And I think it's like anything, you need somebody who is really focused on it and thinking about it to get the most out of social media.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks very much for being a guest on. If anybody else is interested, there is a link down below. I'd like to point out here that, this is in your second language. We don't do any editing here. I didn't tell you any questions beforehand. So I just want to say thanks very much for coming on. And I think that's a really great interview.